Alrighty guys, what is going on? It is EJ with Anchor Overland. This is your first time checking out my channel. Please consider giving me a like and a subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it will help me tremendously grow and reach more people. So today I am at Bellevue Cabin. It is located in Big Bear, California, right in Holcomb Valley. I am here because I'm currently on a camping trip with my 2021 EcoDiesel. That video is going to be posted really soon, if not already. I will post the link to it down below in the description and also up in the top of the video. But I would ask that you finish watching this video first before you hop over to there. So in this video, I am going to be giving you a walk around and also pretty much my thoughts on the 2021 Jeep Wrangler EcoDiesel. Now I've had this Jeep since February of 21. I bought it at 14 miles and I'm currently sitting just under 23,000 miles. So needless to say, I have been driving this Jeep for quite a while. I've taken her from where I live down in Southern California in San Diego all the way up to Yellowstone up in Wyoming, and I've also taken her as far west so far as Texas. I am from the East Coast. I'm from Connecticut, so eventually I would love to do a cross-country trip with her to Connecticut and back, do some camping and overlanding along the way, but that's going to be pretty far down the road due to my job. I can't exactly just take off whenever I want due to the fact that I'm in the U.S. military and I have a mission and a job to accomplish. But with all that being said, let's get into my walk around and my review of my 2021 EcoDiesel. Alright guys, so behind me is my 2021 Jeep Wrangler EcoDiesel with the Sierra high altitude trim. Now, from right off the bat, you can see up front, I have made some changes. I put on a Rockslide Engineering front bumper along with a Badlands Apex 12,000 pound winch. Now, I understand that Harbor Freight gets a lot of flack and a lot of hate, but I will say I have used this winch to pull out a Toyota FJ, a Jeep Wrangler, and a Tundra just a couple weeks ago on a trip I went on. Now, yes, don't get me wrong, I would love to have a one winch. However, due to budget constraints and pretty much just budget constraints, I could not afford to buy a one winch. And I got this one, this Badlands for a steal on Memorial Day. So along with the front, you can tell that I have on a rooftop tent and a roof rack. Both of those are rough country. The rooftop tent is like the bottom of the line soft shell rooftop tent. I think I got it for just under $1,000. This was back in October of 22, along with the roof rack. So along with those mods, I also have on Mickey Thompson EXPs, Baja Legend EXPs, wrapped around a TerraFlex Nomad wheel. Now, I do have the quick deflate valves, which I have tuned to about 17 psi. For the kind of off-roading that I do, 17 psi is perfect, and I also don't have beadlocks, so I don't want to go too much lower. Up front, while I'm up here, another thing that I changed, which you can't really tell, is I switched out my halogen light bulb for an aftermarket LED bulb. At the time when I did that, I didn't want to spend the money on the halos, so I went ahead and just did the best option I could, the best budget option I could, which was just switching out those bulbs for LED, and trust me, they do the job. I do want to put on a KC Pro 6 gravity bar However, that is going to be down the road, seeing how that's going to put me down about 2K. So now we have in back, I have on a full-size spare, and I also have the Rock Slide Engineering mount for some roto packs. I currently have a 2.5 gallon water and a 2.5 can fuel can. It is filled diesel because, you know, in case you guys wanted proof, it is a diesel. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, why isn't it green? Why isn't it yellow? Why doesn't it specify that it's diesel? Quite honestly, I did not like how the yellow or green can looked. I didn't like how it looked on the Jeep. And also, in my opinion, if somebody wants to steal my fuel, and they think it's gasoline, if they put it into the gas engine, what are they going to do? They are going to ruin their engine. So for me, that's a win. In back, I still have the stock bumper. I did do a little bit of trail damage a little while ago. So I do got to buy a new one of those. And that is pretty much the extent of the exterior mods. Oh, how could I forget? My lift. So I currently have the Mopar 2.5 inch performance lift. I do want to go up to a 3.5 Terraflex lift. My plan is to do that next year, probably after the holidays, see what they have for Black Friday sales. And then I do want to go up to 37-inch tires, but that's going to be not until these tires wear out. These tires probably only have about 15,000 miles on them, so I'm not trying to do that until I need to. Another thing is, in case you don't recognize this, that is a Midland Ghost antenna. I do have a Midland MX275 in the Jeep, and I use that whenever I'm out with my club, with my San Diego Jeep Club, and also when I'm out with friends and family. Second to recovery gear, I will say that having off-road comms, whether that's GMRS, whether that's ham, whatever is used primarily by you and your friends, you need to have some kind of comms. Whether that is just a handheld radio that you and your friend can use, or you and someone in your group can use with you, just in case you have a breakdown or you have anything that comes up that you need to relay to somebody who might be a mile away or 5 or 6 cars ahead of you. You need to have it. All right, so let's go into my interior mods. So the biggest one, and I think my favorite one, hands down, is my Kraken twin ARB system mount. Now, the Kraken system itself is from the awesome people at Epic Off-Road Adventures, located up in BC, British Columbia. It is a little mount that sits under your passenger seat in your JT or JL, and it holds an ARB twin compressor. Now, the Kraken has the main mount underneath the passenger seat, along with an air chuck connection, and then right below the the driver's seat, you have the mount for this. Now, it's called the Kraken because, kind of like an octopus, it has multiple different arms. So I can air up all 4 tires simultaneously in about 4 minutes flat. And that's going from 16 PSI up to 38, which is what I keep them at on the road. If you are going to air down your Jeep or your tires, you need to have a way to fill it up. That is without question. I would not recommend airing down your tires to go off-roading and then driving on the road for more than like 2 miles. And that is 2 miles at like 15 to 20 miles per hour. So obviously, probably not enough time to leave a trail and find a gas station to air up. Even if it is just a cheap little portable DeWalt compressor that runs off of their 24-volt batteries. I say that because I used to do that. Back when I had my stock 31s, I still have it actually, my DeWalt portable compressor. I would use that. Now that I have 35s and I have a lot more, beefiness to my tires, that won't cut it anymore. So I need to have at least a single compressor, at least like a single tank compressor. Now I spent the premium and I got the ARB, but that's because I wanted to have the Kraken mounting system. I highly recommend it, and I will leave a link to it down in the description below. Now I am not sponsored by Kraken or by Epic. They have no idea who I am, quite honestly. I just love the product that much. So now let's go over the rest of my mods inside the Jeep. So right off the bat, I have a 67 Designs mounting bar. And I have their GoPro mount, and I have their phone mount. I do have plans to get a few more mounts. I actually have another GoPro mount on the way right now, so I could mount my second GoPro, the one that I'm filming with right now, onto that bar. And then, like I said, I have an Midland MX275 handheld radio. Now this radio is really unique because all of your controls are right here on the handheld. The radio itself can be mounted in several locations. I currently have mine just sitting in my glove box, but I do want to mount it. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about mounting it right here, or there's a little spot underneath the driver piece right here that can hold a MX275, or pretty much any Midland radio perfectly. Yeah. In back, I do have a Dometic fridge and a Jackery 1000. I'm not going to show those right now because they're not kept in my Jeep 24/7. When I'm not camping, they're out of my Jeep. I don't have a goose gear system, or I don't have a tie down system set up to leave those in permanently. Eventually, I will install a goose gear kitchen setup, which will allow me to leave my Dometic fridge installed permanently. Well, semi-permanently, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. Those are also kind of expensive. That's the issue with Jeep. Well, with any off-road vehicle and any hobby, you might have a wish list of, I don't know, 100 different items. And as you can afford those items, you cross them off. You start with the cheapest and you work your way up to the most expensive. I do have a Taser JL Mini installed. Not really a mod you can see. That's really more just for software. I have it right now so I could program my bigger tires, my 35-inch tires, and I am getting ready when I do install my bigger tires in my lift. I do want to go up to 488 gearing. Right now I'm on 375s or 373s. I'm sorry. So the Taser JL is needed so you could reprogram your computer in your Jeep to recognize the bigger tires, the different gearing. It helps the transmission and the engine run more efficiently and basically run more stock. Helps with gearing, helps with shifting, helps with fuel economy, and all that. That is pretty much all of the mods that I have. That is all the mods I have installed right now. So now I will go over my overall impressions and my overall review of the Jeep Wrangler EcoDiesel. So, like I said in the intro to this video, I am just under 23,000 miles. And it has been a dream. A good dream, not a nightmare. I do know that there are reviews and there are videos, and there are people out there who have had issues with their Jeeps, with their EcoDiesels, with overconsumption of DEF fluid, or going to limp mode randomly. I know KC250 had an issue when he was towing up a really steep incline with a trailer, that his vehicle went into limp mode and wouldn't allow him to go above, I think it was like 30 miles per hour. I'm not sure. He speaks in kilometers. I don't, American, World War II victories. But I have not had those issues. Yeah, I do have an active recall for a fuel pump. However, that fuel pump is so far back ordered that Jeep currently doesn't have the part available to fix it. But all that recall is for like an overconsumption of fuel, which, speaking of fuel, I'm not noticing a huge difference. I mean, I'm getting between 19 and 21 combined miles per gallon. So when I was stock, I was getting about 26. I've gone down 3 miles with my lift and my tent and everything. So who knows? Maybe if once that recall is fixed, I might get an extra, mile or so out of a gallon of fuel. Now, when it comes to power, when it comes to horsepower, when I bought the Jeep at the time, it was top of the line. About, I want to say 275-ish horsepower and 474 foot-pounds of torque. When I bought my diesel, the 392 and the 4xe weren't announced yet. They went out. So the diesel had the highest torque of any Jeep being made, of any Wrangler or Gladiator being made, because they eventually put the EcoDiesel in the Gladiator. Now, yes, that is currently beat out by the 392 and the 4xe. However, I do believe that, with the exception of the 392, I do think that I got the best option you can have. The 4xe is cool and all, just for the type of wheeling that I do, for the extended trips I going on, I could not justify having a vehicle that only has a 25-mile range on battery, because of the fact that there's days and weekends where I'm on the trail for 150 miles. I would run out that battery super fast, probably even in the mode where, the eco mode where it switches back and forth. I would use up that battery so fast it wouldn't even be funny. So yeah, I have the diesel. I love it. I've had no issues. I will say the two cons to the diesel would have to be the diesel price. Depending on where you live, diesel can be either $1 more expensive than gas or $1 cheaper than gas. When I bought my diesel, it was during the beginning of COVID, and my diesel was about $2 cheaper than gasoline. As it sits right now, my diesel is about $1 more than gasoline. The second con would have to be the price of the oil. The EcoDiesel has to use a very specific oil in order for the engine. Last time I did my oil change, it cost me about $200 for oil, and that is every 5,000 miles is the interval that I do my oil changes at. So that is something to keep in mind. But other than those issues, other than those two cons, I don't have any when it comes to the diesel, or to this platform in general. That's pretty much all I have for this video. If you have any questions whatsoever about the mods on my Wrangler or the diesel itself, go ahead and shoot me a comment down below, and I will answer them in the order that I get them.